Well, it's looking like this might be the month of Christmas anthologies because I just reviewed one and I'm going to be reviewing another two that I caught on Tubi. And luckily, all three that I've watched so far have been really good. So I did the Christmas tapes, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about All the Creatures Were Stirring. Now, this one is not to be confused with the film that came out this year in 2023, A Creature Was Stirring. This film came out in 2018, and like I said, is an anthology with five shorts in it, and I liked all of them surprisingly. Like the all five out of five, I'd say was really good, and the wraparound. Whereas the wraparound in the Christmas tapes, I kind of just found a little bit mediocre. The wraparound in this one, almost. I wouldn't. I can't say it. I can't go as far as saying they were better than the shorts, but they certainly complement the shorts extremely well, and it's just very thoughtful and really interesting and really clever. I should say that's the best word to describe it. The way they use the wraparound kind of thing. So what we have going on is we have this couple. They're alone on Christmas and they decide to go watch a film either on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I forget. I think it's at night, so it's either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And they meet in front of a theater and they're going to this show that's taking place, and they're sort of like on a date night. And essentially, they're watching these five interpretive dance plays play out. I guess it's really funny. Like it's very comedic, but it's like I said, pretty interesting at the same time because the shorts play out normally, like they play out like any other short in any other anthology, but before and after each short, you'll have these people on stage just being really bizarre and very artsy. Like they'll just make these strange moves with these strange facial expressions that will like imitate the beginning and the end of each short. And every time you see the stage scene and the show sequences, it just gives me a laugh every time because like the short will end and then it'll just be like these people like going like this kind of thing, or if somebody's dying at the end of the short, they'll be on stage and like throwing like red confetti on the person. The person will be like pretending to like be stabbed or something while somebody like throws red confetti on them. It's so hilarious because every time it's almost unexpected and you're like, oh shit, they're actually watching some stupid artsy show that's supposed to represent the shorts and everything. But as for the shorts themselves, they're really cool. The first one basically involves an office party where they're doing like a gift exchange, Secret Santa kind of thing, and things go a little bit sinister with the gifts and what's going on behind the scenes of the gifts. So essentially everybody gets locked in the room that they're in, and each gift is like something that's either going to be murderous or a weapon or something like that. And while they're opening gifts to and they're locked in this room, like gas comes into the office, so they have like a certain time limit, and it turns out to be this like kind of like there's reveals that happen, but essentially that's like the situation that everybody ends up in. So that was cool. I do have to say the acting is pretty good all throughout this film as well, and there's a lot of well done CGI, some practical, but there's a lot of CGI. But I would say it's well done, and in certain segments where there's like supernatural stuff or monsters going on, they do a good job, especially in the second segment, which I'm going to be getting into. But the effects, both practical and CGI, and the acting are pretty good throughout the film. Second one involves this guy. He's coming out of a mall, and basically the parking lot's empty outside of this van in the parking lot. And he locks his keys in his car, and then he goes to this van to borrow his cell phone. And there's these two women in the van, and something else in the van as well. I'm not going to really reveal much, but essentially the story evolves with that, where he's asking for help, but then he ends up in a situation that ends up being a little bit sinister, you could say, to say the least. The third one was pretty funny. I especially liked the actor who portrayed the main guy in the third short. He's essentially like a Grinch type character. He hates Christmas. He's sarcastic as fuck, and that's what I liked most about him. Because I like when actors can really portray sarcasm to an art, and this guy can do it, and he just has these really sarcastic lines and moments that I really appreciated. But essentially it turns out into, like, it goes in a traditional, like, Christmas Carol kind of story where he learns a lesson, but it's more like on the horror side when it comes to things, and I found it pretty neat. Then we have the fourth story, which is a little bit shorter. It involves this guy hitting a deer in the middle of the road, and then the deer ends up being a reindeer and coming back for revenge. So, just with that idea, I'm sure you can picture in your head what kind of things are going on there. And I found that one really funny and again clever. And certain camera angles and camera shots that they decided to use on that short were really funny and really amped up the humor with it. And then the fifth one, I'd say the idea was the best, but the execution was a little bit kind of on the meh side. This one is a little bit harder to spoil, but it involves, I'll just say, Christmas dinner and extraterrestrials. We'll just leave it at that. I can't say too much without getting into too many details. That'll be a little bit spoilerish. And then you have the theater experience, like I said, with the couple on a date in between all these segments. And like I said, every time the segments start or end, you'll have these people on stage. One woman comes out and she has this like crazy Mulholland Drive style hair, and she's putting up title cards saying the name of each skit. And then you'll have the actors on stage doing these like weird dances, like I said, and weird like stationary positions where they're like acting some kind of like really artsy kind of indie play. And I found that really funny. And then in the wraparound too, there's this older gentleman who I don't even know, he's not explained barely, but he's one of the best characters because he's so odd and creepy, and I don't even think he has a line from my memory. He just stares at the couple every once in a while, and he'll like show up out of nowhere and just laugh or be very like awkward and creepy. Like he just is there to be creepy and show up randomly. And I really found him funny. And like I said, for a character that doesn't do much, he's one of the most memorable in the whole thing. But it's a really well done horror comedy, and I really liked the anthology, especially for the fact that all the segments, even the fifth one, which I'd probably say is my least favorite, but it's like the least good when I say that because it's not necessarily bad. And it's a great experience throughout. It's under an hour and a half. I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes. So there's that, and doesn't overstay its welcome. Sorry, and is effective, very effective, and definitely has that like holiday horror comedy kind of style to it. I really enjoyed it. So it's on Tubi. It's free. I do recommend checking it out, as well as the Christmas tapes. That was good too. And it's a good month for anthologies so far, so go look it up on Tubi. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.